class of technologies that we adopted in our company. And I spend my time mostly these days in institutional design. It's really funny. There's a woman, a colleague of mine, runs the company, and I spend my time doing sort of thinking philosophically and thinking about institutional design within the company, and where I get to test these theories. And Enterprise 2.0 is a set of technologies that let us harness this wisdom of crowds in our company. And it happens in many ways. But one is everybody has a dashboard when they come in. I have the same dashboard as the customer care agent. The dashboard has all this information, all the tools you use to run all these reports on what's happening, as well as widgets and announcements and widgets about traffic and weather and stuff in Salt Lake, which is where our company is. But and also, so we all share the same dashboard. And then there are a bunch of tools that I'm always pushing questions and decisions out to the crowd. And you would be amazed at how much I'm now able to push out to the company. It's made such a difference in the last 5 years in terms of our ability to innovate. One of them is called idea management. This came out of some work at Stanford. Some sociologists and anthropologists and economists studied how do ideas float up in a good organization. Well, how they float up is, there's idea management, decision management, project management. Idea management in healthy organizations, ideas get proposed. Some of them attract a certain amount of buzz. Of those buzz, some actually get buy-in. And then of the buy-in, the executives or whatever select some of them to do. But there were some early commercial steps made towards doing this, and none of the packages out there were very good, is what we found. So we built our own. And we now have a system on this dashboard where it's like a suggestion box, but much more than a suggestion box. People can propose business ideas and plans. Other people come and edit them and adopt them and vote on them, and the system measures how much buzz an idea is getting, and then how much, and people can vote up and down, and they can vote with different degrees and such. And so eventually the better ideas start emerging from the muck, and all that I have to do is myself and about 60 colleagues at the leadership team, we have a continuous stream of these ideas coming out. And it isn't, like I say, it isn't just a suggestion box. It's much more powerful than that. These ideas come out, they're well-formed, very well-developed. People have been collaborating and building them together. And it's made my job so much easier because I think that for the first 10 years of the company, the truth is I was the source of most of the ideas. And I was trying to, it's just too much to stay up on. It's too much. You're the Dilbert manager in the corner if you think you can have all the ideas to drive $1 billion business. So I get this kick back now, and there's just this continuous stream of great ideas. Maybe 1 in 50 that get first proposed actually get through this process. And when they come out, they've had a lot of collaboration together, and they get better and better formed, and it's remarkable. It's changed the nature of our company. And then decision management, and this is based on the work of Kenneth Arrow at Stanford, another fellow. So we can view the hierarchy as those who believe in general equilibrium, and then of those, they're the Keynesians, who think that general equilibrium is full of market failures and it needs government to fix them. And then there are those who think that they're not full of failures. But anyway, Ken Arrow is one of the two big. I think Ken Arrow and DeBrew were the guys who came up with general equilibrium theory. Any economists know? Anyway, so Ken Arrow is one friend, and Milton Friedman was another friend, and. And I had great benefit in my friendship with these two men in my life. Ken Arrow, who was one of the founders of general equilibrium theory, also, when he was 24 in an afternoon, did a proof called Arrow's impossibility theorem that came out in a book for which he won the Nobel Prize, which came out in a book called Social Choice and Individual Values. And it's about it's sort of the logic of how you can combine, well, I'll put it this way. We used to meet once a year, the executive class of our company, and everybody has a whole bunch of different projects and priorities. And so we'd get them all together. There'd be a list of, say, 50. And we'd get in a room like this. We'd handle and swap and log roll. And you've got your list of 40 in the order you think we should do them, and someone else has their 40 and so forth. And we would just argue and fight until we ended up with a list and never really made anybody happy. But what we built is a system that everyone can rank. You're 40. You rank your 40 one way. You rank your 40 another way. You rank your 40. They all get ranked. And they get fed into a black box. We push a button, and out gets spit the social ranking. And just like the case of the jelly beans, I am shocked at how intelligent this social choice is. And it's a very Hayekian notion. We have found a way to liberate this wisdom that is scattered throughout the crowd, but that no one person has. And the list that comes out from doing this, and we do this all the time now, and the list that comes out is, it's become such a key part of the way we run the company. We have ordinal, one system that uses ordinal. We built a more complicated system now that uses cardinal information. We'd use this for our strategic project prioritization. And then project management, I'll kind of skip over. There's lots of systems that do that. But there's a couple approaches. There's an approach to software development that, again, I think, every time I talk about this or see us working this way, I think of Hayek. It's called agile development. Agile development as opposed to waterfall development, which is when you have if you work with software developers in most companies for most of a few decades that it's been going on, it's really a process that's kind of central planning. The user writes up his requirements, they get thrown over the wall into a temple. The developers are sitting in the temple, they plug away, someday they throw something back over, it's never what you asked for. All that's been eliminated in a system called Agile, where Agile, I won't go into the principles, but it's a very Hayekian approach, and we use swarms. We come up with projects where people swarm in. And again, I say Hayekian in the sense of it gets rid of the notion that there's experts somewhere who are telling peons what to do. It's recognizing that the real knowledge of how to get things done is embedded across a whole society, so to speak. And what you need to do is find ways to organize and find technologies that permit them to collaborate and get rid of the notion of that your company has a Dilbert or numerous Dilberts who can give instructions to others. And these have revolutionized our company. I view it as, if you think of the ways a society could be organized: authoritarian, aristocratic, constitutional monarchy, republic, and democracy. Most corporations are authoritarian. There is a Dilbert in the corner making the decisions. We are pretty much a constitutional monarchy at this point. You'd be surprised how many. So, for example, we knew at the end of last year our payroll was, say, $80 million, and we wanted to give a $4 million raise. We let everybody propose, how do you want the money? How do you want the $4 million? And some people said, well, I want daycare. And somebody else says, we wish we had better 401k matching. We had 50% matching, we'd like it to be 100. Somebody else says, we want more time off. So we had accountants go and price through each policy change, how much would it cost the company? And then we just put it up to a vote, and we let everybody use all these tools to vote, and they selected, so then we ended up with a social order of what they wanted, and we just counted down the price till we got to 4 million, boom, and that's how they got their $4 million. But even more than that, the strategic direction of the company is more and more being set through these methods, and I have to say it's better than letting the executives set it. It's especially better than letting me set the strategic priority. By liberating this knowledge that is spread through the company, it turns out the customer service agents, they're the ones who understand, hey, why is it that we're not taking Canadian credit cards? And they're the ones who have to deal with the Canadian customers, and we're having to, and they have they're on the knowledge frontier. I'm not in the knowledge frontier. I'm not on the knowledge frontier. So this approach, I hope someday to be a workers' republic. I don't think we'll ever be a workers' democracy. What I have learned is, there is a reason the Greeks, direct democracy has problems. One year, Athens is declaring war on Sparta. The next year, they want to surrender to Sparta. You have to have some balancing, mediating thing. So I hope to get us to be a workers' republic over the next few years. Now I'm going to go into the big things we're doing. The Caitlin Long in the back is quite familiar with. We think we're doing something quite disruptive, that we're building something